Hello, my name's Sam and welcome to my channel Sew That Sparkle with Sam, and this is my Friday sews. So hi, how are you? Nice to see you all, and I'd just like to point out to one of my subscribers, the lovely Emma, that my moon is no longer wonky. Nice and straight, my lunar moon. So yeah, it was really funny. Last week she commented that my moon was wonky, and it absolutely was, and I'll tell you why. So I've got picture rails all around my room, and I got little kind of brass hooks all around them, and when I've got a make that I've made I haven't shown to you, or it's not quite finished, I'll quite often hang them on those hooks. And I'd had quite a few projects on the hook that was above that picture. When I scooped them all down to show you in my video, I obviously didn't realise, and so I had a wonky moon. So apologies. So yeah, so this week is a bit of a catch-up video. So I didn't do a Friday sews last week because I had lots of other videos coming out, and I find that I'm struggling kind of doing more than one a week at the moment because I'm just very busy. Today is Thursday, which is normally a working day for me, but Carolyn Rose is having some renovation at the moment, so I'll be working from home this morning. It's currently about 9:15. I don't normally start my working day until 10 o'clock, so I thought I'd pop on first, do a little Friday sews, and then do some working from home, and then I am going to go in and teach later. But it means I've got a little bit more, I haven't got any more time, just a bit more flexible. So yeah, so I thought I'd let you know what I've been up to. So last week I had a very busy week, and I was lucky enough to go to the show at the NEC, the Sewing for Pleasure show, for free because I was working. So I did have a little bit of time to look around the show. I have to say though, it would have been nice to have almost like an extra day, but hey ho. I worked at the Sew Different stand for the lovely Laura of Sew Different Patterns, and I have to say I had an absolutely lovely few days. If you were one of the absolutely darling people who came up to me and said hello, hello. Thank you very much. I know it's a really brave thing to do, even though I don't think I'm scary. In fact, I'm definitely not. But I know it's a really brave thing to do, but it means the world to me when someone comes up and says, I like what you do. Maybe a little bit self-indulgent, but I just think it's lovely. And it really made my day, and the fact that so many of you came and, kind of took the time to actually look for me as well, because obviously I told you where I was going to be. It really gave me a boost, because actually working at a show as opposed to wandering around the show is quite a different thing. And I did find, after kind of recovery of not being very well, I did find the days a bit full on, and I was exhausted after every day. So the little boost throughout the day of people coming to say, hey, we like what you do, it just meant the world. So thank you. And while I'm talking about thank yous, while I remember, if you'd like to pop a like on this video, I would really appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up. And if you don't subscribe but would like to subscribe, then press the subscribe button, because I have had a new flurry of subscribers, which I'm very excited about. And I kind of have a little wish that, it would kind of be nice. I've got a big birthday coming up, and I kind of thought it would be nice to kind of get to my next milestone by my next big birthday. So yeah, so if you fancy giving me a little cheeky subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. So yeah, so Sewing for Pleasure. So when the lovely Emma, who works for Laura at Sew Different Patterns, when she approached me at the dressmakers ball and said that a few things are plans for people that were going to help out had kind of not worked out, and would I be up for doing it? I said, yeah, why not? Sounds like fun. And then Laura contacted me a little bit after that and said, yeah, and kind of we sorted out all of the ins and outs. And then I kind of stressed an interest. It would be nice if I could make a few outfits for the show. So she sent me the patterns, but I did only have a very short period of time to make them. So I haven't got the outfits with me because I've worn them all and they're all kind of going through the process of washing and stuff, but I have got pictures of everything I wore. So I'm going to go through what I made. So the first thing that I made was the tulip dress. These are all so different patterns, and it was the tulip dress. I'll pop a picture up. Now, this was a very, very simple dress. Didn't take me very long at all to cut out. Didn't take me very long at all to sew up. I made it in a cotton poplin. I think you'd get a different shape in different structures of fabrics. The great thing about working on the stand is that Laura had worked, I mean, I thought the stand looked beautiful, and every single pattern that she sold had a garment made up. So it meant that people could properly look at all of it. And I really do think that that helped sell the patterns, as well as having me and Emma both wearing the patterns as well, because it's nothing like seeing an actual pattern on someone's body. So yeah, I made the tulip dress. I made it in a size 12. I think I may go down to a 10 next time, or I may kind of grade it in a little bit. I found it a little bit roomy. I did find that a bit of a theme with the so different patterns. I thought they were all a little bit roomy. But I, only by marginally, and as I said, I have been unwell and I've lost a little bit of weight, so it may actually be my measurements that are not quite right at the moment, but yeah, I enjoyed making the tulip dress. It's got a lovely shape to it, and as I said, I think I might have a little bit of play around of making it with different different fabrics, because I think it would look very different in different fabrics. So yeah, I did alter it slightly, and that was mainly to do with the fact that I was making 3 garments in 3 days and I needed to be quick. Now, if I'd have really thought about it, I would have taken all of my measurements and I would have realised quite quickly that the dress was going to be too long for me. I'm only 5'3". So instead of doing on the length and shorten lines and making the pattern smaller, there is a piece at the bottom that kind of gives you the nice tulip the tulip shape at the bottom of the dress, and it's a very kind of big cuff at the bottom. Not quite sure what you call it at the bottom, like a hem at the bottom, but an extra piece. And I just made that half the size. To allow me to kind of, because I needed to probably shorten it by about 3.5 inches. So, and that allowed me to do that because I think that panel was probably about 6-7 inches. So I just made it half the size, and that worked out great. And it meant that I could do it quickly and easily. So yeah, that was really good fun. I did actually put a Marks and Spencer's underlayer underneath. I wear their black thermal underlayers. But actually it was quite hot in the NEC and I didn't need to do that. But I would consider the tulip dress more of a summer dress than a winter dress, which is why I put that under the top and underneath. But actually, as it turned out, I probably would have been okay with just my underwear because I was very, very warm. But yeah, that was great. And then the next thing I made for the following day was the Fleetwood frock. I'll put the picture of the pattern cover up so you can see. Now, I have to say that of all of the patterns that I saw and all of the things that I saw at the show on the stand were so different, I think the Fleetwood frock might be up there. It was my favourite. The main reason being it's just a really unique pattern for me, in the fact that I found it was really nice to make, and also I feel like I can see lots and lots more in the future, but made in slightly different ways. So I made it in a gorgeous green wool fabric that I got from Fleuriteur's, and I'll put the picture up there. And this was a gorgeous wool, and I think that it put on the description that it was a dead stock from a luxury dead stock or something like that. And I have to say, the wool itself, I mean, I don't know where the fabric came from. That's the joy of dead stock, but it gave me a real Burberry feel. I don't know, but it definitely did, because it was that kind of, I don't know, it was almost like a tweed, but it was all one colour. Do you know, in the weave? Anyway, it was wool. It was gorgeous. I really enjoyed making it. It did have a very slight kind of stretch to it, which meant that in the Fleetwood frock, there is an option to put a side zip in, but when I made it all, you put the side zip in last. You kind of tack everything together and you put that in. And when I made it, I popped it on over my head and didn't need the zip, so I didn't put it in, because I thought, well, if I don't need it, I don't need it. So I didn't put the side zip in. However, if I make it again, which I definitely will, because I loved everything about that dress I enjoyed. I enjoyed wearing it. I enjoyed making it. Yeah, it was just lovely. If I make it again, I will probably make it for summer in a much more kind of floaty fabric, maybe a beautiful viscose or a cotton lawn or something like that. And I probably then will put a zip in it, because I think it's nice to have the difference from the bust into and nip the waist nice in. And then I think I probably will need the side zip, because my difference from my bust to my waist is quite big. So yeah, but who knows, until I've made it. I'm not sure whether I will need the zip, but it's just nice to have that option. And it was actually a real compliment, because on the day that I wore the Fleetwood frock, we actually sold the most Fleetwood frock patterns, and we sold out by the end of the show as well. That was the only one that we did sell out of. And I think it was because people could actually see it in all of those different fabrics, and the fact that it looks so different. So you kind of got one pattern. You get more bang for your buck. You get one pattern, but lots and lots of dresses out of one pattern. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Enjoyed making it. Enjoyed wearing it. Would definitely make it again. And then on the Saturday, I decided that my feet needed a bit of a rest. So I wanted to wear my jeans so that I could wear my comfiest boots with my jeans. So I wore my chalk and notch R jeans, which I find really comfortable. They are, you know, I can't wait to make some more, because of all of the jeans in my wardrobe, even my ready to wear, they are just so comfy. And so I wore those, but I made the Batwing top. Now, Laura has 2 stages of patterns. She has like her standard mainline patterns, which I've already talked to you about. Those are the standard mainline patterns. And then she has what she calls quick makes, and they are super quick. So I took the Batwing pattern home from the show, and I cut it out, and I cut the fabric out, and I made it in an evening. After a full day at the show. So it wasn't even a full evening. I would say it was probably, you know, with cutting and everything, it was probably an hour and a half at the most. So it was a really simple top to make. The first one I made with a lovely Liberty Tana lawn that I had in my stash, and I'll pop that up here. It says that it takes 1.5 meters, and the reason that it does take 1.5 meters, and the reason it does that is that the whole of the sleeve and the body goes all the way across to your length of your fabric. So unless you want it kind of cropped, and there's not much difference in the sizing, because it is, you know, it's only really once you get to the bottom of the waist measurement that the sizing changes. So it's, yeah, you do need 1.5 meters. However, I then decided that I wanted to make another one, because I love the pattern so much. And Emma had mentioned that she had one in a jersey fabric. I was like, oh, I'd wear it a lot in jersey. And I actually wore it in my last vlog video. No, was it? Yeah, I wore it in my last vlog. And I made it from a Bornella remnant that I only had 1.2. So what I did is I cropped it. So I literally just used the length, put it in half. Front was one half, back was the other half. And then I used a little bit of ribbing that was in my stash to do the bottom piece, which you normally make out of the self fabric, I just did out of ribbing. And then I put the ribbing again. Instead of putting the cuffs of self fabric, I put ribbing on. And then I just did a little calculation. So what I did is I measured the neckline, and I just did the neck ribbing 80% of that measurement. And that worked absolutely fine. I think probably if I had a bit more time to fiddle with it, I might make it ever so slightly lower, but that's a me thing, on the neckline. But I've honestly, I've not taken that Batwing top off the jersey one, because I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed wearing it. So yeah, so that's if you are kind of thinking of dabbling into the sew different patterns, I would say the quick makes are quite good, because you get to have a little look at her patterns and her instructions, and at the end of the day, it would be a great one. The Batwing top would be a great one for something like a gift in November, because it's quite a quick and simple, if you know someone's size, and again, it's quite oversized, so you don't have to be massively accurate. You could definitely make quite a few of those. If you had like a whole weekend, I reckon I could probably make 10 of those Batwing tops. So it is something that you could kind of batch sew and make up for gifts. Particularly if you did it in jersey fabric, it wouldn't take you very long at all. So yeah. So there you go. So those are the sew different patterns that I got made up. I'm just checking I haven't missed one. So Laura very kindly gifted me 2 other patterns as well. She gifted me the Osborne dungarees and the Hepworth pinafore. Now I've got the line drawings here for the Hepworth pinafore. This was one actually she didn't give. I bought this one because this is the one I had anyway. So I was going to make this one to wear. Now I didn't, because all of the other patterns I sent off to Flamingo Prints, where I always send my patterns, so that I could just cut them out, because I was very time restricted. This one I decided, it's not too many pages, I'll print it off at home, stick it together. I did that, and then as I was sticking together, things weren't lining up properly, so I should have done it first. I didn't. I went back up to the little square and it was off. So I just then thought, right, Sam, you haven't got time for this to put this right. So this one is going to be on my makes list for future, but I'm going to send it off to Flamingo Prints, which is what I should have done in the first place, but I just ran out of time. And then I think that this one would be a great scrap busting kind of one, where you can use different fabrics. Now I have recently watched the lovely Christine from Gemini Stitches, and her friend Steph went on a kind of a little self-organized retreat, and they made up so different patterns. So I will tag her below, and if I can figure out how to do it, I'll try and see if I can kind of link that video. I'm not quite sure. I don't think you can link other people's, not sure. I'll see what I can do, and definitely go and check those out, because she made a beautiful pair of the other pattern that I've got, which is the Osborne dungarees. Now I've cut it all out, but I quickly realized that that wasn't going to be a quick make, and there was no way that I was going to get that done in an afternoon. So that is on my list to do very soon, because I know it's great. And actually I'll put a picture up of Emma, my stand buddy. She, on the day that I wore the Fleetwood frock, she wore the Osborne dungarees, and she just looks so great in them. They were absolutely fantastic. So I do want to make those, so that will be on a plans list for another day, when I've got a bit more time. So yeah, so as I said, I didn't really have an awful lot of time for shopping, but I did make a couple of purchases. Now I knew that Becky from Becky's Sewing Studio was going to be there, and so I did make a little purchase. I went to see her and I did make a little purchase in this little box, because I've been looking at these for the longest time, and it's the little sewing machine necklace, because I wear my stars all of the time, and I wear my moons and my astronauts, but actually I thought this one would be a really nice one to wear when I'm teaching at work. A little sewing machine, and I think it's dead cute. So, and I wanted to support Becky. I did actually buy some buttons from her as well, but I've put them in my safe place. Everyone knows what happens with that, don't they? Because I got them for a project, and I think I've put them in the project bag with the project, but I can't find them at the moment. So in some future me will show them to you when I make the project, but they were very beautiful. And then I bought from a different stand, I bought 2 packs of these gorgeous Italian buttons. And can you see these ones? Now these ones are to go on my shirt that I'm making for the Sew To Celebrate To challenge for Stash Hub. And as you can see, I've been getting on really well with that project. In fact, I've nearly finished mine, and Simon's has got the collar on, but that's about it. And those are to go on there, and I think you'll agree they're going to look absolute and a bit retro, because it's, you know, it is very retro, and I thought that would look really, really good. And then on the black ones I bought, again, they're just plain black buttons, and I thought they're not plain, they're very nice. And then they will go on Simon's shirt. But as I said, it's getting there. And that's the Tony shirt that I'm making. And if anyone has made the Tony shirt and would like to give me a little bit of advice, I've made, as I said, I've done mine and I'm very happy, but I do believe that I may have fudged the collar a little bit. So there's no collar stand, and basically it's instruction. It's instruction kind of 8 and 9, and I get a little bit confused with what you're supposed to do with your flap. So if anyone knows, as I said, I made it work. I kind of just tucked it all in and sewed across, and it looks okay. But yeah, I got a little bit confused. So if anyone has got, you know, top tips on that and how to make it all nice and tidy, then that would be great. So yeah, so those were my purchases from the Sewing for Pleasure. One more purchase. How can I forget this? So the lovely Sandeep from Sister Mantaka she was just kind of down the same aisle as us. And so I kind of saw her most days we were there, and I knew that she'd bought lots of fabrics along with her, and I knew that some of the fabrics she had a limited amount because they were going to be released later. And there was 2 fabrics, one that I still think I might buy in the future, but I need to have a bit more of a careful think about what I'm going to make with it. And then another one that as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted to make a pair of silky pajamas with. But again, I wasn't there for pleasure. I was there to work, and I thought I was finding it hard to justify spending a lot of money on fabric when the whole idea of me being there was to earn some money, you know, for life. So, but I couldn't resist it. So I bought this. Now I can't show you the fabric because it's already been washed and it's already been made up. So it's this. And excuse the creases, as I said, this is a pair of pajama bottoms, and I've literally just finished making them, but I've not given them a press as yet. And I've even made a little matching eye mask, a little sleep mask, and honestly, this fabric, I'm going to do it again because it's just so lovely to put up against your face because it's just so silky. And I am also going to make the top, and this pattern was the Winnie pajamas by Merchant & Mills. Now I've made loads of pajamas. I tend to use the Tilly and the Buttons Jamie bottoms at work, but I really like that pattern. I really enjoyed it. I haven't finished the top, so you know, I'll let you know how I get on with that. But yeah, it was nice. It was a nice one to make. I did decide, because of the fabric though, that it was going to be easier for me and neater finish if I did it all in French seams. So I have French, I don't know whether you can even see that, but can you see I've not got overlocking. I've French seamed all of the insides, and that just makes it nice and neat inside. Slightly more time consuming, but I think worth it in the end for a very luxury pair of pajamas. So yeah, so that is what I've been up to this well, last week really. And then when I got back from the show on Monday, I went into work and realised that the renovation was happening. So I've had a very, very busy and slightly stressful week at work, but yeah, hey ho. And then on Tuesday, I had another day at work, and the children came back, so we were making little Christmas tree decorations for the Christmas tree that we do every year, and that was really good fun. They're making little mini Christmas jumpers, which was very sweet. And then in the evening was my Tuesday night quiz night at our local pub, and we won the quiz. So, 2 weeks in a row, winners. And then yesterday, I had a day off, which is when I've got most of this sewing done, to be honest. And then last night I joined in with the virtual sewing room, and it was the lovely Lucy that was hosting last night. And it was just a nice kind of chilled night with some sewing, and really good. So that is basically my week. Now, I'm really sorry, Katie, I'm at 26 minutes already. What can you do? But I really wanted to kind of fill you in what I've been up to and what I've been doing, and I will hopefully see you all really soon. So don't forget to sparkle. You take care of yourself. Bye for now.